Hey, what's up everybody, it's Halfpaw. I know it's been a minute, but today I'm going to bring you something a little different. I figure we can only do this once, so here's my blind playthrough of Dishonored 2. It took me roughly 9 hours to finish the game, so we're going to have to summarize, but without further ado, let's begin. Right out of the gate, from the training mission to the walk to the throne, you can definitely tell the game wants you to play as Emily, so obviously I chose Corvo. After starting another adventure watching a woman being stabbed, it's time to get down to business. Head to the window and check for fall damage. It's there. After pacing around for eternity in your new prison, realize you can open a window and move on with your life. It's dangerous to go alone, so grab your sword and head down to the throne room. Lock Scrooge McDuck in a room full of gold, and find the quickest way to the boat is a straight line. After a brief swim, say hello to the new and improved Samuel, now with handicap parking. Take a short nap out at sea, and wake to fulfill your sole purpose, telling the outsider to shove his powers up his ass. Yeah, that won't go wrong later.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
It did go wrong later. Arrive in Karnaca and learn a few things. You don't want to mess with that guy. Rats were more fun than flies. And TSA at the train station, don't fuck around. This was the first spot that I truly regretted not taking powers, but with enough perseverance and throwing stealth out the window, eventually, you too can ride a horse-drawn carriage on electric train tracks to a mental institution. Thank you game devs for making that sentence possible. When traveling to the Institute, it's important to remember the daily activities that are planned for you. Watch the annual dive competition, find out Ted Cruz is the crown killer, fight in line for a ride on the Adameyer elevator, and finally meet the doctor responsible for your visit. Question her about Sokolov's location, and find out she's come down with a case of dumbass disease. Decide to put her out of her misery, and get absolutely fucked in the process. Maybe should have checked out the lab first next time. After learning from my mistakes, I did explore the lab and managed to find the head of Mr. Incredible sitting on her desk. So I don't think Incredibles 3 is coming out anytime soon. Talk to a victim of the hash-slinging slasher and give old Wolverine the experimental vaccine. After that, it's pretty much time to leave. Next on the agenda is the Clockwork Mansion, and let me tell you, it wasn't very fun. First things first, new Samuel wants you to swing by the grocery store, which, like any normal trip, involved multiple counts of aggravated assault and a mobster named Houdini. After that magical experience, just skip ahead to the front porch and head on inside. Feast your eyes on the dollar store Grievous, and get your eyes ripped out immediately. It went on like this for a while, and I'm not gonna lie, without powers, this mansion was a multi-hour nightmare. But with enough murder and perseverance, you too can give Jindosh a taste of the American education system. Oh, and you find Sokolov, but I did that like 15 years ago during a rat plague, who cares now? After 3 counts of breaking and entering, it's time to go back to the boat and get harassed by your dark magic sister-in-law. I miss the simpler times, like when Emily fell off a lighthouse. Anyway, the only way to make things right is to kill her best friend. So make your way to the conservatory and start a gang war with some plumbers, I think? I don't know. It's been a few weeks since I played, and I feel like I misplaced a substantial amount of footage. But here's what appears to be a family game night featuring Russian roulette. I hope they all had fun. Decide to let someone else test the fall damage for once, and use the basement entrance to gain access to the conservatory. Almost immediately use death as an exit, but come back and use the elevator to show these bitches how witches get stitches. But then lose your life to the arcane equivalent of Michael Scott and the dog. Try a few more times, and eventually prove bullets hurt. Make sure to insult the Statue of Liberty's new look, and just, go back to your boat. After a briefing from Sokolov, make sure to enjoy the next boat ride, because the new Samuel almost looks like the old one. Get some intel from John Jim Milton that criminals don't like the feds. Who would have thought? Anyway, I heard only one is magic, so go after the other one. That means the Overseer. Parkour your way to the Fed Boy turf, and try to save a group of unfortunate friends from an execution. But the Overseers can hit copy-paste, so leave them behind next time. Like a stumbling drunk, become one with the dirt, using it as cover to reach the Overseer. Take him to the magic mafia man you met earlier, and find out his new trick is to make this man disappear. Receive the code for the stupidest lock I've ever seen, and break into another mansion. Once inside, say hello to Billy Joel, and receive the time travel ability from the Outsider. Use its power to jump through time. Move up to open the door and deal with the guards. Use time travel to maneuver around the base looking for intel with BT, and eventually, you'll make it to these platforms, jump across them, and find your way into the vault. Attend a rebirthing class with all your friends, and set off to the Duke's house to stop this Rasputin bullshit. First things first, to get to the Duke, you've got to go down Main Street, and everyone knows that by doing a little of this and a little of that, eventually, you can play Bloons Tower Defense 5 with the lives of helpless guards below. Oh, and bypass the wall of light with the safe dealer apartment key. You're gonna need that. Now that we are at the palace, it's time to stealthily walk out in the open, 20 feet away from armed guards. We know the Duke's body double vapes because he told everyone, so that's who we're looking for first. After confronting him in the bedroom, find out the real Duke keeps that motherfucking thing on him, so go get it. Not gonna lie, things once again got hairy, but throw shit at a wall long enough and eventually you'll be arrested. But this time, we use the roof rails to reach the bedroom again, give the Duke's medallion to Castor Troy from Face Off, and watch as a man who won a look-alike contest gains control of a country. Head to the vault and remove your wife's spot in your heart to make room for her sister, you sick fuck. After seeing all Serkonis had to offer, we finally made it back here to Dunwall Tower, and it makes so much sense to come through town instead of the canal gate up top we've used before. But hey, what do I know? While walking through the streets, get attacked by Scooby and his gang, and show him what Michael Vick taught you. Continue towards the gate. Now the scene here makes me want to know, why do we pay taxes for overseers if all they do is die? I've not seen one actually doing their job. Move into the courtyard and stealthily take out a witch. Realize the rest are gonna kick your ass and run inside. This will be a problem later, trust me. Decide to take the elevator route because it seems easiest. It wasn't. Congratulations, by doing Flesh and Steel and possessing 0 healing items, you've essentially made Dishonored 2 into a horror game. The aesthetic is right, the enemies are right, might as well call it Resident Evil Village. Now if only I could train the enemies down into the security room to murder me for hours. Main thing is, don't try this at home. After essentially soft locking yourself in the basement, finally break free by using whale oil to turn that room into Salem, Massachusetts. Only to actually get soft lock in a cutscene after riding the elevator. I assume this had something to do with the outdoor witches I left behind reloading up here. Deal with them, and finally make it into the throw room, only for Danny Phantom over here to fucking go through the wall, follow her through, and prepare for the final showdown. I'm not gonna lie, I spent a good amount of my playthrough here. I tried fighting all the Delilahs at once. I tried one at a time. I was really missing when Havelock would just kill himself for you. But then I found it. One last mountain to climb before I could finally end this bitch.
Falcon Punch!
Save Emily from being the Rock. Unfortunately, it was too late for Dwayne Johnson. And admire your practically worthless Flesh and Steel achievement. To everyone who's made it this far, I want to thank you all for watching, and I especially want to thank everyone that subscribed to the channel so far. It was crazy to come back and already be over 100, but if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and stick with us next time, because we're gonna go to the far land of Skyrim and see if we can't fuck around there. So, I'll see you then.